We're going to take this cover off right here, and there's a cover right here. Just use a straight blade screwdriver or a pocket screwdriver. Take this screw out and the other screw. I'm going to use a T20. I'm going to use a trim tool and remove this trim piece right here. Just get in here. There's some clips right there and right there. And take a trim tool, get underneath the back side of the door panel, and just pry out. And there's clips that hold it in, go all along the door edge, just like that. And then lift the door panel up, just like that. Remove this cable from the door handle. Just take some needle nose pliers and squeeze these two little tabs. Slide the cable out and then slide it up, just like that. Disconnect this connector right here. There's a little tab on the back side. Push on that tab and slide it out. Disconnect this connector. There's a little tab on the side. Push that down and slide it out. And disconnect this connector right here. Push down on the tab, slide it out. I'm going to pull the switch out of the door panel, just right here, underneath, push up. On the front side, looks like this. Push up from underneath, there's just clips holding it in. Take the switch, connect the connector. Then I'm going to turn the key on without the engine running. Then I can take the window, slide the window up to right about there. I am going to turn the key off. Take a T25, take these screws out for the speaker. Now when you take this last one out, you're going to support the speaker. Slide that out. Disconnect the connector. Just push down on the tab and slide out the connector. With the window about halfway up, you can get in here with a pocket screwdriver. You can adjust accordingly if you're too far up or too far down. We're going to access the window right here. Just make sure you have the key out of the ignition when you're doing this. You don't want to accidentally have the window pop up while you're doing this. Push right here and then physically pull up on the window. You try to get it from the back here. There's a little clip right there. And there we go. Slid it up right here, so that's released on this side. I am going to have some masking tape close by, so I'll just put that there. Take this cover right here, slide that open, and the other tab is right there. Take the pocket screwdriver, push down on that tab. And you can take a larger screwdriver and just slide this up. Try not to break the window. And you can take a smaller one and push it in. Try to get that to unclip from the window. And there we go, it's unclipped. I'm just gonna grab the window, just slide it up, keep it safe out of the way. Take my tape, use a little masking tape, tape the window up. This would help if you had a partner as well. I'm going to disconnect this connector, put it on the tab, set that aside. Take this connector out. You can use a pocket screwdriver or a pick. Just get underneath here, slide the connector off. Pull these wires out of the retainers. Just like that. Disconnect this connector at the motor, push down on the tab, and slide it out. Just like that. And then all these connectors, disconnect this one, push on this tab, slide it out. Disconnect this connector, and slide it out, and same with this one. And this blue one as well. Just take a trim tool, get underneath this wire retainer, and slide that out. All right, now I'm going to reach into here. I'm going to find this lock rod, or this rod that opens the door from the outside, and there's a clip. Just try to disconnect the clip. You're going to push the clip towards you, and then slide the rod off, just like that. Then with a pocket screwdriver, try to get the lower lock rod. This goes to the outside door cylinder, lock cylinder. Try to get behind that, and then press it towards the outside of the car. Slide that off. We can grab the rod and slide it towards the middle of the car. Take a T30 socket and remove these 3 bolts. Now I'm going to take these bolts out around the perimeter. I'm going to use a 10mm socket. There's 11 bolts in total. Now this is the last bolt. I'm just going to hold the whole assembly. While I take that last one out. Now just take a trim tool, get underneath here, just slide this off. Might be sticky a little bit. And just slide it towards the middle of the vehicle. Slide it down and towards the center. Move the wiring harness out of your way a little bit. And I'll slide out just like that. We can disconnect this connector right here. Slide that off. Use a trim tool. Disconnect that wiring harness right there. And you can slide the wiring harness out just like that. Where the cable is attached right here, just take a straight blade screwdriver or a pry tool, get underneath here, just try to slide this piece up. Just like that. Pull that out. And then this, you just need to angle this up the cable end. Slide that out of the way. Just gonna flip this over. We can remove this rod. Just slide the clip off. Pull the rod straight out, set it aside. This latch assembly needs to slide out right here. And then on this right here, this needs to slide down. So let's slide this part out, just like that. Then on the side, you can use a screwdriver, a straight blade screwdriver. And there is a little lock tab right here. Just use the straight blade screwdriver, push on that little lock tab. You should be able to release it. And slide it out. Now we have the lock rod. We'll just flip this over. And you can just slide the lock rod out, just like that. You can leave the lock rod in the door panel. Take the lock rod, install it in the same position on the new door latch. Just like that. We can twist this. We're gonna slide this back down right here. Lock that in place. Just make sure this cable is out of the way. Over here. And then get this lined up. And actually with this side, you can actually just lock it in like that. Just press it down. It might be easier. I'll flip this over. Take this cable. this latch, or this lever right here, is where that cable's gonna go. Slide this cable back in position, just like that. Slide that cable there, lock it down. Then flip it back over, put the lock rod back in. Just like that. Now we'll take this panel. We do want to slide this rod up. When we go to slide this in, this wiring harness is going to go right here behind the lock rod. This connector will connect right here to the latch. Lock that in place, and then press this wire retainer right here, this push pin. All right, now we're ready to slide this in, this rod up. Might have to have the wiring harness a different way, just to get it to line up right. And it should be good. Just gonna get one of these bolts started, just so it holds the panel from falling. Then over here, I can move the latch from the inside and get these screws started. Now I'll tighten these screws down. So now from inside the door panel, I'm gonna line this lock rod up down below. This goes to the lock cylinder on the outside of the door handle. Line this up with the door latch. So once you get the lock rod in position, then you can take the lock part of the retainer and slide it over the lock rod. Now that's good. And then take the door handle rod, slide that in position and lock it down. Put the rest of these bolts in. Now I'll tighten these down. Just snug. Put the wiring harness. Put it back in the position that it came out. Connect these connectors. It goes right there. This big one goes to the window motor. Right there. And this blue connector goes right here. And the white one goes right there. The red one goes on the other side. And this black one goes right here. Now I'm going to put my hand in here to hold the window. Then I'm going to take the tape off of the window. Now I'm going to lower the window, and I want the window to line up into those clips on both sides. Put my hand in the speaker hole as well. Slide it over there. And where this clip is, I'm just going to use a straight blade screwdriver just to support the clip as I push down on the window slightly. You don't want to put too much force on the regulator as you're doing this. You could even push in on this clip right there. Just be careful not to crack the window. Do the same on this side. Make sure that lines up. Make sure that locks in place. That's good. Then take this cover, just line that up. And that's good. Now I'll take the speaker, plug the speaker in first, make it a little easier. Line the wire up. The wire is going to go in this groove right here. And take the screws. Get these started. And we'll tighten these down. Take the wires, just slide these into these little retainers right here. This connector is going to plug into this little light right here on the door panel. Then take this inner door latch cable, Slide this in right here and just lock it in place. If you had the window switch out, you're going to reinstall the window switch. Lock that in place. This green connector is going to connect to the door lock switch right here. And then the black connector is going to go to the window switch. Just like that. Now take the door panel, line up the lock rod, line up the top part of the door, and press that in place. Now line up these push pins on the inside, make sure those are lined up. You just put a little pressure on the door. That's good. Take this trim piece, line these retainers up, lock it in place. Use a T20, tighten up this screw. Snug that up. And this one. That's good. Take this cover, line it up, lock it in place. And this cover, line it up, lock it in place.